Imagine the scene. The serenity of the city is shattered by the terrifying war cries of the Vikings. Homes and buildings engulfed in flames, the air thick with smoke and the stench of burning wood. The streets filled with fleeing citizens and the grim aftermath of violence. The Vikings, armed with axes, swords, and spears, were relentless in their assault. They stormed through the city, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Homes were plundered and set ablaze, churches desecrated, and the inhabitants killed or captured. The Annal Fuldensis, a chronicle from the Abbey of Fulda in present-day Germany, offers a glimpse into the aftermath of the raid. The city of Paris was left in ruins, its churches and houses burned, its inhabitants slain or scattered. But why was Paris so vulnerable to attack in 1845? Dr. Simon Copeland, a leading expert on the Viking Age in Francia, offers this explanation in his book The Vikings in Francia. The Frankish kingdoms in the mid-9th century were beset by internal division and political instability. This weakness was compounded by lack of preparedness for the new type of warfare waged by the Vikings. Copeland argues that the fragmentation of the Carolingian Empire after the death of Charlemagne created a power vacuum that the Vikings were quick to exploit. The Frankish kings, preoccupied with internal struggles, neglected their defenses, leaving their kingdoms vulnerable to Viking raids. This lack of preparedness is further emphasized by Dr. Peter Sawyer in the Oxford Illustrated History of the Vikings. The Franks, traditionally a land-based power, had little experience in naval warfare. They were ill-equipped to deal with the swift and mobile Viking longships. Sawyer highlights the mismatch between the Frankish military, geared towards land-based warfare, and the Vikings' naval superiority. The Franks simply lacked the ships and the expertise to effectively defend their coastlines and rivers against the Viking raiders. The archaeological record also sheds light on the vulnerability of Paris in this period. Excavations in the city have revealed that the fortifications at the time of the 1845 raid were relatively weak. In his article, The Archaeology of Viking Age Paris, Dr. Richard Hodges notes, the defenses of Paris in the mid-9th century consisted primarily of a Roman-era wall, which was in a state of disrepair. The city lacked the strong fortifications that would be built in later centuries. Hodges' research suggests that the existing defenses of Paris were inadequate to withstand a determined Viking attack. The city walls, dating back to Roman times, were crumbling and offered little protection against the Vikings' onslaught. The raid of 845 served as a wake-up call for the Franks, forcing them to re-evaluate their defenses and adapt to the new reality of the Viking threat. It marked a turning point in the history of Paris, prompting the construction of stronger fortifications and the development of new military strategies to counter the Viking menace.